Hi, thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I'm Andrea. Glad to have you here. It would be good to have a chair nearby, a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, then thick books might do the trick. A folded blanket, or even maybe you've got a thick bath or beach towel. I've got a yoga mat. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. A carpeted area, someplace that's not slippery, is going to do you just fine. And then situate your mat so you're facing me. I think that's going to give you the best visual. I will likely change the position of my mat so that you can see me better, but you don't have to be moving your mat around. I'll give you clear instruction about how best to use your props. Once you've got your things collected, let's meet together in Tadasana in the front of your space, feet hip distance. Stand in the majesty of your mountain. Tadasana is a mountain pose, and it's the bedrock of all our poses. You could think of little bits and pieces of your mountain in all of the things that you do on your mat and off. There's a sense of majesty. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just experiment with what balance means. Even when we're standing still, there's a little forward and back and side to side movement you can explore. Bring your breath into the equation. So try to breathe through your nose. Slow, rich, deep inhales and complete exhales. Turn your palms away from one another as you stand tall. And just think, leaning your head back, ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Inhale your arms out to the side, up to the sky in a V shape. Thumbs stay skyward, and then exhale and float your arms back down alongside you. Do that again. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And then exhale, arms float alongside you. We'll add a bend to the knees. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. And then straighten your legs and float your arms alongside your body. Bend your knees. Inhale, V shape overhead, chair pose in your legs, and then exhale and stand it up. Twice more like that. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. And then exhale, stand back up again. Last one, bend your knees, inhale, V shape overhead. Now stay for a moment. What? Yes. Keep breathing. You can always stand it up. Return to your mountain before I mention it. But while we're here, see if you can shift your weight into your heels and let your toes feel light. You could even experiment with lifting your toes. See if you can find a gaze at your bright horizon, even as things heat up and get a little bit more challenging here. You want to make sure that you're not scrunching your shoulders into your ears. So if things have gotten so intense that that's going on, you definitely want to stand in your mountain instead. 3 moments here if you can. And then slowly straighten your legs, stand into your mountain. Turn your palms away from each other and let that smile, your collarbones open. Find a little lift to your low belly. We'll add on to that. Bend your knees. Inhale to your chair pose, V shape overhead. And then this time as you stand up with your arms alongside you, bring your right knee towards your chest. So you're going to shift your weight into your left foot. Stamp your right foot hip distance. Bend your knees, chair pose. As we stand, shift the weight into your right foot and bring your left knee into your chest. Fun with balance, right? Stamp your left foot hip distance. Inhale, arms in a V shape overhead. As you exhale and stand, the right knee comes into your chest. So good. Stamp your right foot hip distance. Inhale into your chair. Exhale, stand and bring your left knee into your chest. And then stamp that left foot. We'll do one last round, okay? Bend your knees, chair pose, inhale. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Stamp hip distance, bend your knees, inhale. Exhale, arms along your side, palms turn out, left knee into your chest. And then stand hip distance and into your mountain. And just feel what we've done so far. A little bit of movement. Maybe your heart rate's a little bit higher. Drop back in to something soft and sweet, but majestic and mountain-like at the same time. Bring your awareness back to your breath. 2 moments here in our mountain. You'll want your chair and possibly your 2 blocks, or maybe you're using thick books. Situate your blocks or books on either side of your mat, the way that I have here. Have the seat of your chair available in front of you as I've got here. And I'm trying to make sure that you can see me, so you may have the base of your chair facing you. If I do that, you won't see me. So this works too, if it happens to be your style. Get yourself set up in the first space, like front space of your mat or whatever you're using. Return to your mountain. And then inhale, arms out to the side, bending our knees, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs and increase the hinge at the hip just a little. Inhale, extend your heart forward. So you're going to traction your hands onto your thighs and grow really tall through your spine. Then exhale, a little bit extra hinge at the hip. No head below hips though. And then arms out to the side, we return to our chair and then stand and float your arms along your side and pause. Let's do that bit one more time. Bend your knees, chair pose, V shape. Hands to the tops of your thighs. Extend length with an inhale through your spine. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hip just a smidge. Inhale, back to chair, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And then stand into your mountain, arms along your side, adding on, okay? Bend your knees, inhale to your chair with your V shape overhead. Hands to thighs. Inhale and lengthen your spine. This is where your chair or perhaps your tall blocks are going to come into the mix. Step your left foot back and we're in a lunge with your knee off the ground. Think of standing into your mountain as we're here. So that can be hands on your chair base. That can be hands on your blocks. Power up your back leg as if you were almost doing a plank position with it. Think of standing in your mountain there. Your front leg feels a little bit like the chair pose that we've done a few times today. And then just grow tall through your spine and breathe. Last couple of moments here. Step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinging at the hips, chair pose, arms out to the side, and then stand into your mountain. Great. Bend your knees, chair pose, inhale. Hands to your thighs, inhale and grow long through your spine. Hands to the base of your chair or to your blocks. This time step your right foot back into our lunge position. Left hip back and right hip forward. Left leg feels a bit like it's doing chair pose. Right leg feels as though it's standing into your mountain. So does your spine. Take a couple more moments. There's a stamp of weight into your left heel. Gorgeous. Firm through your feet and your belly, right foot hip distance from left. Inhale, hands to thighs, heart extends. Exhale, a little bit more of a hinge at the hips, and then to our chair pose we go. Stand, float your arms along your side. Terrific. Bend your knees for chair pose, arms out to the side. Hands on your thighs, inhale, lengthen to your spine. Hands to the base of your chair or to your tall blocks. Step your left foot back. We're back into our lunge. This time a twist, and I mean that pretty literally. Your left hand will stay onto your block or onto the base of your chair, and then just twist open. Thumb stays up to the sky. You're still drawing your right hip back and your left hip forward, and the twist is just at your waist. It's not too much of your neck. We've got all kinds of space between our shoulders and our ears. 2 moments in a little bit of a twist. Just like life has its twists and turns, and we want to be mindful for those. We're mindful for our twists and turns in our yoga practice too. And then right hand on your block, left foot hip distance from right, hands to thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and then stand it up. Chair pose, inhale. You're doing great. We've got a flow going. Hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, either base of the chair or hands to your tall blocks. And now it's your right foot that steps back into your lunge. Think that you're doing chair pose with your front leg and that you're doing a mountain pose with your back leg. And then keep your right hand on your block, thumb to the sky, mindfully turn open so that this feels like the kind of mindful quality that we want to bring to the twists and turns in life. And you're twisting from your waist. It could be said that your twists and turns in life will require that you turn from your gut a bit as well. 2 more moments here. Then unwind, left hand to your block, firm through your belly, and step your right foot hip distance, hands to thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, a little bit more crease at the hip. Chair pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and then stand into your mountain. Now you're either going to hug your right knee into your chest, or you're going to place your right foot onto the base of your chair. Stand tall, and as you stand, I'm just going to turn to you. You don't want to let this kind of thing happen with your left hip. So hug your left hip in, either foot on the chair, or you're hugging your knee into your chest. If you're hugging your knee into your chest, you might use the chair with a hand, because there's going to be a bit of balance. Remember what I just said about the twists and turns. So I'm going to step my right foot onto my chair, hug my left hip in, and then take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh and start to make a little bit of a twist happen. That's tricky if you don't have your foot on the chair, right? So if you are here without your foot on the chair, you might want to have a hand on a chair. And then breathe, and inevitably there will be wobbles, won't there, when we twist, when we balance. 2 moments, you're breathing the whole time. You can always put your foot on the chair so you're situated near it. And then carefully unwind. You can hug the knee in. We meet in mountain pose, feet hip distance. That was excellent. Bend your knees for a chair pose, because we love chair pose in this practice today. And then stand and think about left knee into the chest, but you can put your left foot onto the base of the chair. Hug your right hip underneath you, whether that's holding the knee or a foot on the chair. When you feel like you've kind of stuck your landing, work into the twist. Right hand on the outside of the left thigh, left arm reaching back behind you, thumb to the sky. You inhale and grow tall. You exhale and turn. It could be that if you're hugging your knee into your chest, you're using your chair for some balance. Twists and turns of life involve wobbles. Good thing we're practicing that here. Take just 1 more moment, either with your foot on the chair or off the chair. Be mindful as you unwind and then find your mountain pose, whether that's stepping off of your chair or simply stepping onto the ground. This is where I move my mat, but you're fine where you are. I'm also going to move my chair out of the way so that you can best see me. And you won't need your blocks. You might move them off to the side. Step out wide onto your mat now. And take your arms wide out to the side, and we'll do our measure that we do sometimes. So it's basically ankles underneath wrists. Bring your hands to your hips and turn your right leg so that it faces the short edge of your mat. Cheat your back heel at about a 45-degree angle, and then try on for size your warrior two. And if you notice that your knee is jutting in front of your ankle, just get a little bit wider with your stance. And then arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Stand in your mountain in your back leg. See if you can hug your right hip underneath you in your front leg. We never know what direction the twists and turns might go in life. This is a bit of a twist too. Right forearm across the thigh. Left arm to the sky for now. Hug your right hip underneath you. Turn your thumb to face down and gently swoop your arm behind your back. Let your shoulders be free from your ears, and then use your right forearm to twist a little bit, chest to the sky. A couple of moments here in this new outward twist. Our other twist, we turned in on ourselves, and this one we're turning out. Just like I feel in our yoga practice, we turn the arrows of attention inward, ultimately so that we can reach out to one another. 2 moments here. Now free your left arm, thumb to the sky. Gently with a firm belly and knowing where your feet are. So really standing into the ground, come up right into your warrior two and then straighten the front leg. Turn all of your toes to face the long edge of your mat and then rotate at your hip, left foot to face the short edge of your mat. Cheat your back heel at a 45-degree angle. We should be spaced pretty well because we haven't changed our stance. And then bend your front knee. Warrior two. Imagine that you're magnetized on your left thigh over to the left side of your mat. Stand into your mountain in that back leg. Left forearm across your left thigh. For the time being, right thumb up to the sky. Make space between your shoulders and your ears. Support the whole thing with a lift to your low belly. And then right thumb faces down and you bring your hand behind your back. It smiles your collarbones and then you twist open. And as I said on the first side, we turn inward in this practice, but we want to make sure that it's ultimately to reach out, connect with one another, with the world around us, to bring the yoga that we love so much and share it with the people and the places and the things that we bump up against. And we have just a few more moments here. Keep breathing. Keep that little sense of karate chop in your left forearm so we don't collapse shoulder into ear. Firm through your belly, upright into warrior two, thumbs to the sky. Mindfully straighten your front leg and then turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. Heel toe until you're about hip distance apart. I'm going to shift my mat again, but you don't need to. At the front edge of your mat, feet hip distance. Bend your knees, chair pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Hands to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. We're going to linger here just a moment because it feels so good. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips just a little bit. Arms out to the side, chair pose. And then stand and arms along your side. Great. Bend your knees for chair pose. Thumbs to the sky. And this time, bring a prayer in front of your heart. And then just take your right elbow onto your right thigh and turn ever so gently over towards your left. You could also have your chair in the mix and put your hand on your chair instead. And just stay with a prayer in front of your heart. It's going to be tempting to try to do this whole thing with your neck because that's very flexible. Just let it be that turn from your gut. And then come down the middle, hands to thighs. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, a little crease in the hips, and then chair pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Stand and pause. Beautiful. Second side, bend your knees. V shape overhead. Hands into a prayer. Now your left elbow just comes to the top of your left thigh and we twist. And it's a gentle, mindful twist, just like the twists and turns that we will find out there. We're not cranking our neck. We're letting it come from the gut a bit so the waist muscles do the twist. And then unwind, hands to thighs. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, chair pose, arms out to the side, and then stand into your mountain. Pause and feel. Feel your breath. Feel the grace with which you have found your way through the twists and the turns so that it can come with you and splash out into your life. And then one little chair pose to take us to the floor. Bend your knees. Inhale, V-shape overhead. Hands to thighs. Inhale your heart forward. You can use the base of your chair or your blocks, but find your way down onto your mat. And then folded blanket, highly recommended for this next bit. Seated on your folded blanket, take your legs out in front of you and curl the toes back towards you as if you were standing on something. Bend your right knee. You can help it along, and you may want one of your blocks for this. So almost like we're doing a tree pose here, seated on the ground. For some of us, it feels a lot better to have a block underneath that right thigh bone. And you want to make sure that you're propped up on something so that when we're seated on the floor, it doesn't turn into a rounding of the back. And I'm actually going to turn it a little bit of an angle so you can see my spine as we do this. So here we are in our figure 4 or almost tree pose. It's actually a pose called Janu Shirshasana. And then thumbs to the sky, a V shape. This too is a twist of sorts. Turn towards your left leg and then just place your fingertips on either side of that left leg. You might hinge at the hip and walk forward a little bit, but none of us are rounding our spine. And you're feeling the guts of it, if you will. You're twisting from your gut. You're hinging from your hip. Curl the left toes back towards you. And then we use this shape to find a little bit of a meditation. So once you're situated on your perch, in your pose, with length in your spine, maybe you let your eyes close, or it becomes a very soft gaze. I'm going to be quiet for a full minute. Meditate on this more subtle twist. But not all of life's twists are dramatic. If you think about it, most of them are a bit subtle. You're halfway there, you're doing great. Keep breathing. When your attention wanders off, and it will, just bring it back to the guts of it and to your breath. Now, firm through your belly, gently bring yourself up. Help it along. So take your hand onto your right thigh, extend your right leg, and then we'll switch sides. So bend your left knee, put your left foot into the inner thigh. Maybe one side benefits from the block more than the other. And then arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V-shaped curl. Your right toes back towards you. Turn from the guts of it. And then lightly place your hands on either side of your right foot. Remember, hip hinge, not rounding of the back. It's like it's becoming a little bit more elegant, a little bit more refined. You can think of your inhales as length through your spine, and your exhales as just that little subtle twist, like so many of the twists in life. And as we did on the first side, I'm going to get quiet and let you have a full minute to meditate here. More than halfway there. Firm through your belly. Come all the way up. Help it along. So hand on the outside of the left thigh. And this time, after you give your left leg a little bit of a release, bend your knees and put your feet hip distance on your mat. Come off of your perch. Move your blocks out of the way for a spinal twist. Lie down. Step your feet as wide as your mat and just let your knees gently windshield wiper to the right. And then come through center and let the same windshield wiper action happen to the left. And then down the middle, either in this constructive rest with your knees together and your feet wide, or maybe it feels fine to lengthen one leg and then the other. Take a moment to situate your shoulders underneath you, close, maybe cover your eyes. 1 minute in our final Shavasana meditation. You're welcome to stay here in your final Shavasana meditation as long as you'd like. If you're ready, gently move your fingers and toes. If you'd like to stretch arms and legs in opposite directions, you can do that. And then bend your knees and find your feet on the ground. Roll to either side. Use the strength of your arms to bring you up to a comfortable seat. Palms up or down. And just pause and appreciate the grace and balance that you found in the twists and turns on your mat. So that as we roll up our mats and head out into the world, you've got this. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm Andrea, and I look forward to us practicing again together soon.